It is the 10th of December 2022. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. So we do the disclaimer, use allegedly. Nobody's been found guilty in a court of law just yet. Apply the but-for legal standard, but for Mr. Perry's, one crime after another against me. It's not just stalking. It's voyeurism, it's vandalism, it's property loss, it's income loss, it's witness tampering, victim tampering, stomping all over every right I have, and terrorizing and horrifying. So, but for that, we wouldn't do these to document. We don't wait till after he's done something. We say it before. And he can't seem to get that through his head. For 7 years, every day, he's quoted trying to plan some kind of crime against me and acts like he can't understand what the hell that means. Normally, most people who are, have half a brain, have just average intelligence, don't need to have things repeated over and over and do the same thing every day expecting different results. I think Einstein called that the definition of insanity. If you continue to do the same thing every day expecting different results, there's something wrong with you. You're just not all there. And he does, and he has for 7 years. We don't even have words for that. I mean, no one knows what the fucking... But a lot of people have a problem with what he's doing. Normal people do not want to hurt another person. They don't like watching one person hurt another. So, in fact, our shrink, and then as I was studying criminology, this came up as well, that it's not just when someone is abused that it causes trauma and you're traumatized, but watching someone be beaten or abused also causes trauma. It is psychological torture. Also, to ask someone to abandon everything they believe in, everything they hold dear, everything they know, and go do something asshole for you that they know is wrong. They know it will hurt the other person. And you have recruited some of my friends and family to do some pretty horrible things to me. It's made them very uncomfortable. It's made everybody very uncomfortable. Mr. Perry, you're a sadist. We get it. You've made your point. You enjoy hurting people. You get off on making problems. You get off on getting everybody upset with you. And you have some psychological disorder, and our shrink says some mental retardation that would cause that, and you not to be embarrassed. I said, he's weirdo. He's just fucking weirdo. Why isn't that embarrassing? It embarrasses the hell out of me from listening to what some other people say. They're embarrassed by him too, even some of his own colleagues. And she said, I did tell you that I believe him to be severely mentally retarded due to aging, Huntington's disease or Alzheimer's or senile dementia, or maybe a little of all of that. And he doesn't know he should be. He literally has no idea that it should embarrass the hell out of him, what he does. So she said he's not even trying to prove me wrong. Not even giving it no effort at all to prove me wrong. So I don't think he can. I really think he cannot. And I think there's several working with him that are no different. They're just as demented, depraved, deranged. In a civilized society, we don't do certain things. It's been made illegal that would cause another person to harm or an injury. That would be invading their privacy, watching a woman in the privacy of her home against her will, without her consent, and some without their knowledge, trying to take their money and starve them until they lie, or starve them into doing something that you want but they don't want. That's called coercion. It's a crime. RICO Act has been, you guys violated the hell out of RICO Act, Title 18 of the United States Code. Witness tampering, victim tampering, obstruction of justice, perjury, destruction of evidence. I mean, witness tampering and victim tampering is a big one. You do it all day, every day. And when you do it to me, it's different. And there's a bunch of you guys that are working for Charles Perry, and with him, David Robertson, Calvin, Bald Fat Calvin, and all of you guys, and Lucius, and all of you guys traffic women. You exploit us. We've been over this. You're caught when you did it to me. People didn't know. They know now. And that changed when you started doing it to me. And not one of you can figure out why that is. Not one of you geniuses knows. Why is it different when you do it to me? Why do we quote you every day? How did we get your code words? You guys have these little secret code words. Like Muffin Man is a nickname for somebody, right? Hansel and Gretel. Get her to go over here so we can have her pulled over. Or so we can trick her into this. Get Mike to Pensacola. Hansel and Gretel. Right? Lure someone to a certain location where you're going to do a crime, a harm, an injury. Ratatouille, Rumpelstiltskin, Papa John's. Papa John's is not pizza for you. It means something else for you. So we got those. Nobody else has those. We have names of people involved in your criminal organization. We've got Bald Fat Calvin. In fact, I know he's bald and fat. Lucius, Geppetto, your witch, that you hired to cast spells on your enemies. Do the rest of your enemies know that you do that, David? And Geppetto wanted to know if I had sage. In Oklahoma, I think I started to get into this the other day and got distracted. In Oklahoma, there is a lot of witchcraft due to the Indian, whatever, culture. Some of it's their culture. And you hear about shapeshifters and stuff. Things that I've not heard, even in New Mexico, where there's also Indians. There's a lot of Navajos. Sage wards off evil spirits. So Mr. Geppetto, his spells don't work on me, apparently. And in fact, he said, I'm doing some things that should cause her physical pain. And she is not flinching. Is she on painkillers? Because it was, does she have sage? Does she burn incense sage? He's asking David these questions, which David couldn't know without being a peeping Tom. None of you could know with it if you're not doing what I say. So, but he does know. And no, I don't have sage. I don't have incense. I did do that for a little while, burn some sage. And I had, okay, but this started in 2015. I'm sorry, no, that's not right. It started in 2010, the second I met Mr. Perry. He started, targeted me for his criminal activity. So, but the first he knew about it was what we call the McNamara email. And that is the email where I'm telling my ex-husband, Mr. Perry intends to arrange a false arrest and coerce me. This is it here, which he did months later. And this it's very specific and goes into great detail. He also wanted to include my son in that. We got Judge McNamara's name. I did politics in Lubbock for a long time, but oddly, I didn't meet all the judges. I never met Mr. Matthew Powell. He didn't go to the events. If they didn't go to the LARW events or any of the political events, I didn't meet him. I don't know them. So I never met Mr. Powell. I got to recognize his voice from recordings of him talking to Charles. Charles has, umpteen jillion investigatory orders on him all the time. So does Mr. Robertson. So does Calvin, Bald Fat Calvin. So does Lucius. So let me finish naming everybody. Geppetto does as well. We've got, let's see, they got leaks and wiretap orders or whatever kind of investigatory orders they have gotten. Some of which came from stuff like this. This came from a leak. This came from somebody in Lubbock that was so deeply upset and disturbed by what Mr. Perry said he was going to do to me that he got us the information. Our guys have done very well in cultivating relationships. They work very hard. 40 of them, cops, Mr. Perry, 40 of them work very, very hard to get the information they get and names of people within your criminal organization, like Bald Fat Calvin, Lucius. We know David Robertson's in deep. He is fucking in very, very deep. Geppetto, Monique, Beverly, James, Dickie, Richard, Blankenship, Desiree, Z is something. Okay, Z and Dickie. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Z, I've never heard his name come up in a conversation. That's a name that Mr. Perry asks, is this person leaking on me? I'm not told that, and I would not help you if I was. If you only knew how much everybody fucking hates your guts, all of you, for what you're doing to me and to Michael Neely, and who all hates your guts, you would never bother me again. If you had any idea who knew and how much they hate your guts, who hates you and how much they hate you, you would never bother me again. But we get intel from right inside your criminal organization every day for 7 years. This has not happened once or twice. It's not happened for a day or a week or a month or a year. It has happened every day. We quote them every day for 7 years. We have your code words. You've had people ask you, how the hell did she get that? You've had people ask you that. We've heard them ask you. How the fuck did she get those code words? You call yourselves Weeble Wobbles. We're Weeble Wobbles, but they don't fall down because you think you're invincible. We laugh. You had a conversation tonight. She can't go back to New Mexico. And if we're getting stuff like this, did you really think it's up to you? I mean, we don't know what planet you guys live on. Planet Weird Stupid? I mean, we don't know. What could you possibly be thinking? You have not one name of anybody who's involved in the need to know. For 7 years, you don't have even one name. And I just rattled off like 10 people involved in your crime. They're in it with you. Or they've had some significant input, either good or bad. There might be 1 or 2 of those guys that I just named that said, let her eat. Let the girl fucking eat. Right? I have skin hanging off of me right now from not eating, going days without food. Over the past week after I saw that on me, like I've been just trying to survive, so I haven't really paid that close of attention. And the other day I actually looked at myself and I went, oh my Jesus, look at this, this is bad. I better somehow, I'm gonna have to sacrifice something, but I gotta eat. This is bad. And you guys were all, we want her back on that pole and on schedule. But you had all my clothes stolen, so I have nothing to wear if I were to, let's say I wanted to go back dancing. Nothing to wear. And I look like fucking a concentration camp victim. Which, in case you didn't notice, is not sexy. It's not gonna sell a lot of lap dances, is it? But that's not why you wanted me there. So there's the big phrase now among a lot of people who matter. 6 years in a strip club, not one slip up. This chick is good at what she does. 6 years in a strip club, not one fucking slip up. Not one. 6 years in a strip club I danced. Charles had his people all over me. Up my ass, all over me, all the time. And not one time did I slip up as to who the 40 are helping me. You have not even one name. Not even one. And he'd send people in to ask me. And again, that's a need to know. And you're the offender. You don't get to know. I know you think you're entitled. No one else does. Everybody else is extremely offended and repulsed and disturbed and uncomfortable and upset at what you have put me through day after day after day. And only a psychotic sadist would not understand that. All you have to do is watch the news and see that when we have a shooting, a mass shooting, like Sandy Hook, or like the Pulse nightclub, or anywhere, or Tulsa at the St. Francis, Mayor Bynum got up and he said, people are calling my office to find out what they can do to help. That's normal. That's most human beings feel that way. What can I do to relieve the suffering? To ease the pain? I want to help. During hurricanes, during any kind of tragedy at all, people in our country step up to help ease it. Causing it on purpose is baffling. How does one do that? And one thing we hear the most above all and everything else is, why in the fuck is he doing that to her? We've had people ask my guys, how does she put one? You guys, please hurry up. This is very difficult to watch. All the suffering he's causing her. And I know she's agreed to some amount of that in order to catch the bad guy. But really, can you hurry up? This is very difficult for us to watch. All the crap he does to her. He gets up and waddles to the bathroom out of his cozy bed at night to pee in the next room. I have to drive my car to a damn gas station because he told everybody forever, I'm going to make her homeless. I'm going to have her eating out of a dumpster until she lies for me. Forever. I've got that going back to 2020 when I first came out and said, Michael Neely didn't kill anybody. They did this. Charles and Dave did this. Their people did this. Murder of Chief Miller. There's no way a man who's found unconscious, in respiratory distress, dying, could murder someone by beating them to death, and then on top of that, do it and end up with not a mark on his body anywhere. That is the allegation, that he murdered the chief of police, his boss, by beating him to death. The two had a drunken brawl. You can't be in a drunken brawl while you're asleep and dying of opioid overdose and end up with nothing on you, not one injury anywhere. Even in the arrest report, it says that he had a busted nose and lip from a second event after the murder. Once the two were found, Hotel John, the security guy from the hotel, came in and pulled Mike off of Lucky and threw him face first into the floor, at which time he busted his nose and lip. Okay? Second event completely. Lucky's already deceased. Mike is found laying on top of him. We've explained how that happened, we believe. It's a hypothesis. We weren't there. We didn't see it. And a red swollen right hand. That's the only two injuries the arrest report lists. And then, of course, you can see him by looking at his picture where he has not a fucking thing on him at all. Nothing. And I did tell... See, I told this Florida State's attorney, he didn't do it. You got the wrong guy. He's a cop. You better fucking take care of the cop. Because the cop was taking care of his people in Oklahoma, where he lives. And sure as shit, he was drugged. This says he was treated with Narcan for opioid overdose. Now, how did I know that before? They had even taken depositions in May. I said it in March. Second I started doing that, they start talking about hiring a hitman. They're trying to kill me again. They're going to starve me until I lie. Lie about what? That I knew he was drugged before anyone else said it, or that it was confirmed months after I said it? Which one did you want me to lie about, Mr. Perry? I mean, do you see how delusional you are? Do you see how whack job you sound to everybody else who's not whack job? Who's normal and intelligent, and you're not either one of those? You do not even make sense. And right now, the reason we can get stuff like this, sir, beforehand, like the McNamara email, is because everybody fucking hates you for the hell you're putting me and Mike through. Fucking hates you. And if you knew who all that was and how much they hate you, you would never bother me again. You'd make sure I never slept in my car again. I had a place to live, car paid for, everything. I have back everything, all the money you took. It would scare the fuck out of you. The thing is, you don't know. And I've named people. I have this. I have this was the Hansel and Gretel. How did you know Mike had to be begged to go to Pensacola? He did not want to go. You guys coaxed him. That's what y'all called normally the Hansel and Gretel. Here's the bait. Follow the leader. Follow the bait. Follow the bait till we get you to a place where we're going to blow your life up. Kind of like you want me back on a Poland on a schedule, but weren't smart enough to figure out that if we're starving her, she's not going to look good. And if we have her clothes stolen and thrown in the trash, she's not going to have anything to wear. She's not going to go dance. Right? Duh. You guys are your own worst enemy. Sometimes it's funny. It's so easy. It's not even fair. So, this was from Mr. Perry. He's telling me, I see you're on the witness list here. I'm going to tamper with you anyway and ask questions that are very inappropriate to ask outside of the courtroom. But you do it all the time, don't you? Yep, that's your thing. You're RICO violations, like a motherfucker. So here's the arrest report right here. Anyone can look at it. It's on the docket. It says in this thing, right here at the end of it, suspect Neely was transported to Sacred Heart Hospital for evaluation. I, Investigator Martinez, or Detective Stupid, as we call him, finger paint cop. You have to get your finger paints out and go, Detective, listen to me. Mr. Neely has no injuries. That means he wasn't in a fight. Because if he was in a fight, particularly one that ended up killing the other guy, sir, any astute police officer who's not finger paint could know that he wasn't in the fight, sir. You dumb son of a bitch. You're degrading the officer, the office of a police officer, degrading it like a motherfucker. And it's guys like you that makes people call for the defunding of police. And I, for one, don't think defunding police is a good idea. I think it's the worst idea on the planet. But you're going to overwhelm people so much with this bullshit right here, corruption. People don't like crime. They don't like corruption. And they do not like what you people are doing. They do not like it. And that's why we can get information and you cannot. Not one name. of anybody in the need to know, and I rattled off a whole bunch. Lucius, Calvin, Bald Fat Calvin. Right? Geppetto, Beverly, Monique, Blankenship, Desiree, Z, Dickie, Richard. Who else? James. James and Beverly came from a cold shower, because we know exactly what you're doing with the cold showers. I haven't taken a warm shower in a good long time, no matter where I'm taking the shower. Why is that, princess? You get some kind of kick. We hear you guys. Make her take a cold shower. Like you think it's funny. Is it funny now when I quote you, James? Beverly? Huh? Okay, so what this says is, I, Detective Stupid, arrived at the Sacred Heart Hospital to speak with suspect Neely. But he was not able to provide any information about what happened, which happens when you're sleeping through the whole thing because somebody drugged you. That's what happens. He was asleep, you dumbass. Okay, about what happened in the hotel. The injuries that I observed on suspect Neely were to his nose and his lips, which was caused when suspect Neely was pulled off of victim Miller and struck his face on the floor. Hotel John picked him up, an almost dead guy, and threw him face first into the floor. How nice of him. He's a cop. I also noticed suspect Neely's right hand was red and swollen. See? Swollen and red. Look at that. Oh gosh, there's an IV in it. Might that be why it's red and swollen? Do we need to get the finger paints out for everybody? See, I like smart cops that can keep up with me, at least. At least keep up with me. I'd rather a smart cop that can outthink me, frankly. I respect that more. I respect smart people who get it the first time you say it. Or you don't have to get the finger paints out and go, now it's like this, and it's like this. Like we're all in fucking daycare. That irritates the fuck out of me. I can't stand it. Any cop that talks to me knows you better know your shit, or don't bother me. Don't fucking bother, especially cops, because I was raised in 4 generations of cops, and my granddad was the chief of police in Roswell. His name is on the front door of that building to this day. He was very good at what he did. My great-granddad was the captain of detectives. I grew up in the damn police department. I cut my teeth on my granddad's badge. So, because of that, and because our conversations often, and my dad too, revolved around crime solving. I grew up in it. It's all I knew. I know nothing else. Just like a farmer. If a kid grows up on a farm, he's going to know all about farming. Same thing. No different at all. But I also was taught there's honor in the badge. And cop family watches out for cop family no matter what. Unless you got a corrupt one that's going to pull the whole department down. Then you get the guy out. And guess what? My dad did that. And my granddad had to go to him and say, I get a citizen complaint one time. Maybe it's the citizen. I get a citizen complaint a whole bunch of times about one cop. Maybe it's that cop. I think it's time for you to resign or be fired. And my dad had a substance abuse problem. So he resigned. I'm sorry, because my dad was a very, very good cop. He could figure anything out like that. I grew up with that. I grew up in it. Police officers are held to a higher standard than everybody else because you're enforcing the law. And if you can't conduct yourself professionally and ethically and morally, maybe rethink what you're doing for a living. Because what happens is you got a situation in which something festers and festers and festers and then blows up, like we saw with Derek Chauvin and George Floyd, and then the whole country blows up and wants you all gone. I don't want you all gone. I want the bad ones gone. And I think that's the case for most people. I don't like bad cops. They're not all bad. I got 40 of them helping me. You have not one of their names, but I'll tell you what, they have worked their asses off to get guys' names who are on your side, who are kissing your ass, who are the bitch of a sex weirdo, and that's the best they can do. You are that pathetic. No one understands that. Normal people do not understand that. Okay, so the second I start saying, wait a minute, look at this. Everybody stop talking about Mr. Neely is a murderer, blah, blah, blah. He's not. Look at it. Look at the facts. Look at the facts. I'm deposed by both attorneys. It was the suckiest deposition I've ever seen in my life. Not one of them said, how did you know this? Not one of them said it. How did you know that? Both of them had that email. Not one of them asked me how I knew. Gene Mitchell later said, how did she know my legal argument before I made it? Because he changed it. He went to the media and said, that video of my client being interviewed by Escambia police is going to exonerate my client. He was right. Because Mike says, I don't have anything on me. Who's dead? Lucky's dead. Okay, but I don't believe you. Because you're telling me that we're in a fight, but I'm looking at me, and I'm a detective for Manford Police, and I'm not seeing any injuries that look like I was the one that did this. The Escambia finger paint cop says, well, it appears he was beat to death. Yeah, sir, we get that. We get it. We all get it. But where's the injuries on Mike Neely that look like he did that? Because he doesn't remember anything because he was given opioids and he was unconscious and in respiratory distress and dying. He was a victim of attempted murder, and he has not a mark on him because he didn't hit anybody. If he beat somebody to death, he'd have a mark on him. He'd look like he was in a fight. Like my child here. I have a picture even of my son who went to Vegas, mouthed off at somebody, or the guy was on something. I don't even know. You get one-sided, who knows. Anyways, my kid has bruising on his face. What happened is there was an altercation between him and this other kid. The kid hit him 3 times. Pop, pop, pop. Security guard comes, breaks it up, and everybody goes home safe and sound. My son's face, you can tell he was in a fight, can you not? You can tell he was in a fucking fight. And here's Mike Neely with not a mark on him going, I don't believe you. Look at me. I don't have any injuries. I don't have any injuries from being in a fight. Lucky died of blunt force trauma to the head, strangulation, and internal decapitation, which means the medical examiner said, if you read it, the facts are that Lucky was hit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth so hard his head came off his body. The skull detached from the rest of his body. It's pretty fucking hard. And he has nothing on his hands. The second I brought that out, the second I caught that, not TPD, not Lubbock PD, and not Scambia finger paint cops over there, and not the Texas Rangers. I did. My guys caught it. They said, look at that and tell us what you think. They don't tell me everything. I said, there's no way he did that. There's no fucking way he did that. So, what happens is, you get people starting to go, why? Does he have, what's going on here? Something's fishy. So why would he be put in jail and arrested for a murder you clearly couldn't have done? This corruption. You think people are stupid, and they're not. In fact, they're pissed. Very pissed. So we can get information and you can't. You want to know why we can get information? It's because people do not like suffering. It is psychological torture to watch somebody else make another person suffer. It's traumatizing. If you watch the George Floyd trial, the Derek Chauvin trial, the people that sat there and filmed that were on the stand crying. I got to go to counseling. I was traumatized. I watched a man die in front of me. I'm screaming and yelling, stop it. Please stop it. Please stop it. Please stop it. And he just laughed and kept on going. And those people wept bitterly as they testified. And everybody expects me not to have any emotions and be traumatized. Being homeless, I'm listening to KRMG today. There's a guy that says he's building that Eaton Village for homeless people. And he's like, homeless people, just so you know, are very, very traumatized. They've lost a home. That's a very significant loss. It's a very significant loss. They're traumatized. We have to try to get them back on their feet. We can't do that until we work through that traumatization with them. They do have to pay a little something to live there. They do have to have a job. They cannot do drugs. They cannot have an alcohol problem. And so they do have to behave. But you can imagine going through day by day by day, just trying to survive and just trying to find some food and care for themselves. Every day they're traumatized. That I didn't say that. The guy on the dealing with building this Eden Village thing did. People hate it. What you're doing to me, Mr. Perry. And so we can get stuff like this. This was somebody else. I quoted somebody else. Point out for me the injuries on Mr. Neely that make look like he was in a fight. Point them out. Where are they? Read the arrest report. Point them out. Where are the injuries that look like he was in a fight? Point them out. There aren't any. So now you're just victim tampering. Now you're witness tampering. Now you're trying to make me change my story against my will. And the thing is which one did you want me to lie about, you son of a bitch, cop killer? Did you want me to lie that I knew Michael Neely was drugged before anybody else said it? Or that it was confirmed in depositions months later? Which one should I fucking lie about, you stupid son of a bitch? I mean, you are hated. You don't know. All of you are fucking hated. And if you knew how hated you are for what you did to him and his family, his wife and his teenage son, and what you're putting me through and who all hates you, you would never bother me again. You would make sure you gave back what you took and there was no more suffering. And you don't get out of your nice warm bed and waddle like the Hobbit, the guy said, to the bathroom to pee while I have to drive to a damn gas station and sleep in my car. You're going to jail. What do you think we're doing with all this, Mr. Perry? You don't know. You're stupid. You're stupid. What are we doing with this, Mr. Perry? What does it mean that we have it? Can you think past tying your shoe? Can you wipe your own ass by yourself and you have to have help with that too? What does it mean that we have those names? You don't have one. Not one. In 7 years, nobody will tell you even one name because everybody fucking hates you for what you put me through and Mike Neely. And if you knew how much they hated you and who all it is that hates you, you would never bother me again. You'd shit yourself and you would never bother me again at all. All of you. You don't know. I matter. You don't. I matter. You keep wanting to say what you feel and you think you need a lie and you're just entitled to this and entitled to that. Everybody wants you to shut up. We're all sick of hearing it. No one asked you how you feel. No one asked you what you think. You were told to shut the fuck up and get away from me. And every time you contact me, we get more. Every day you invade my privacy, we get more. Every time you take a penny of my money, every day that I'm broke, every day Mike's in jail, we get more and more and more and more. And the more we get, the easier it will be to get a conviction and a hell of a lot of restitution. The more loss you cause, the more restitution we can seek, depending. Grand larceny with intent to coerce, interference with commerce, and contracts with intent to coerce. I intend to starve her until she lies. And everybody fucking hates you. So we have names like Lucius, Bald Fat Calvin, Geppetto, Beverly, Monique, Blankenship, Desiree, Dickie, Richard. Your people. Your people. Richard has a bazillion. Get a ringtone, Richard. Get a ringtone, Richard. Now we call him Ringtone Richard. Is he a victim or is he a participant? It's hard to know with some of the recordings we've heard. Which one is he? Is he the one that gave my police report right over to the offender? And now he's trying to cover his ass? Once you've done something wrong, covering it up with more illegal crap doesn't work, Richard. You gotta know that. You gotta be smart enough to know that. The bell's rung. Cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag, running around everywhere, shitting all over the place. You can't miss it. It smells bad. And everyone's sick and tired of smelling it. So when we quote you, Princess Cuckoo Bird, in beforehand, not after, I had this, I got this in jail. Fabian puzzle. I'm not even going to go over that again. But notice how you're just the butt-in wannabe, never the one wanted. Yep, everybody fucking hates you. And if you knew how much they hate you and who all hates you, you would never bother me. You'd make sure you paid back what you owed and you'd get the fuck out. And I'd never hear from you again. You can tell you fucking don't even understand what people say to you sometimes. You can tell. You have no idea what somebody just said. Like you have aphasia or something, and people are talking to you and it's just not clicking. You don't understand it. You don't know what's said. This was Lucky, or Mike, wasn't it? Perry kept calling us constantly, wasting our time, wanting us to pull her over and get information from her car and give it to him so he could take her car away. And we're very close to calling in a protective order. He's calling us so much. She never calls. She doesn't bother anybody. He's complaining she's harassing him. Here's the thing. We know good and well he's bothering her. He's just getting caught, and he doesn't like getting caught. He gets caught when he does it to her. She doesn't call us ever. I called one time, and 6 days later, Chief Miller was dead. 6 days later, Chief Miller was murdered. And Michael almost murdered, and falsely accused and wrongfully convicted. Had the jury heard me, he would be home right now, and everybody knows it. You made sure the jury never heard me. It's called willful and intentional concealment of a material fact that could change the outcome of the deciding body had they had the facts, had they known. And it is perjury and suborning perjury, depending on what you did. You had no right to do that. And because you do, it upsets everybody. It's disturbing to everybody. It makes everybody uncomfortable. No normal person likes to watch suffering. And none of us can imagine what kind of monster sits around all day planning one catastrophic loss after another. The loss of a car, the loss of a home, the loss of everything you own and everything you've worked for, the loss of family heirlooms, the reputation, the credit damage, the loss of privacy in your house, where you have the reasonable expectation of privacy. What in the fuck is wrong with someone that would do that? If you watch the news, you can see most people won't do that. I'm listening to Dana Loesch, Loesch, whatever her name is, and she's talking about societies that are civilized or not civilized, and she's basically saying how bad our society is getting now. That's disturbing to her. She said, she was quoting somebody else, and she said, "How do you tell when a society is civilized? And how far back can we get? It's cavemen or what?" And apparently, some bones were found. But this guy had broken his femur bone, and it looked like kind of an antiquated attempt to fix it. And she said, at that point, that society was civilized because people stopped and they attempted to mend this person who was injured and heal them, let them heal. That's how you know a society is civilized. And you guys are deviants, and you're sick, and you're weirdo, and you're bizarre, and you're psychopath, and you're sadist, and there's something seriously wrong with you, and you disturb all normal people. You upset all normal people. Anyone who watches you put me through hell day after day after day gets very uncomfortable. They're being abused as well. And I studied it in my criminology. Remember, I'm in college. Criminal justice degree. I have a 3.64 now. It was 3.9 until Mr. Perry jammed up my computer and I couldn't turn assignments in. It's not that I did the assignment and did it wrong. I couldn't get it in at all. He had a little meeting with him and his guys where they decided how to try to make me fail. Here's the thing with you bitches. If you want to be tough guy, we get that you got a mommy problem. Your mommy humiliated you or something and you're going to bother us with it. You might as well take your dirty underwear off and make us all look at it. If you can't handle that within your own family, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. If that becomes crime causation, there's something wrong with you. Lonnie Athens was an abused kid. He grew up to become a criminologist. He says 0.1% of the population can't keep up with everybody else and just go be normal and work through these things. He's one of them that worked through it. 1.1% becomes a violent offender and uses the mommy thing as an excuse to fail. 99.9% of society doesn't like you, doesn't like people like you, doesn't like suffering, doesn't sit around all day and try to figure out how to ruin people's lives. You embarrassed the hell out of me, Mr. Perry. Nobody cares what you think. Everybody would like very much for you to shut up. You weren't asked. Nobody asked you what you think or how you feel. We're all sick of hearing it. Get it through your head. Everybody's fucking sick of this. We can get information because of it, and nobody will tell you shit. Everybody's sick of this. Everybody's sick and tired of you. You're like a burden and an imposition and a cancer everybody wants dumped off. You're causing psychological torture to other people who are sitting there watching you make me suffer, and it isn't normal to act like that. It isn't normal to want to do that. It's sick. You're causing people to feel uncomfortable and disturbed, and I've been telling you that for years. You're not getting it, Mr. Mental Slow. We're tired of dealing with that. You get somebody to help you understand words. Don't sit there and ask me who told. I want for you to be gone. I'm not going to help you. You have a lot of nerve asking me after I slept all night in my car and had to drive to a gas station to pee while you got up out of your cozy bed and waddled into the next room being the hobbit that you are. peed and went right back to your cozy warm bed. You're asking me for help? You gotta be shitting me with that. My guys were pissed. They get pissed every time you go, is it this person? Is it Z? There's somebody named Z involved in this deal. I've not heard Z's name come up on any recordings at all. Nothing. But Mr. Perry asked me, is it Z? Is Z leaking? Is Z talking? Is Z telling on me? Yeah. Cold shower today. Cold shower today. We got James. My guy goes, oh my God, is he doing that again? Yep. Okay. So they start recording whatever it is you're doing to make that happen. And he goes, listen to this. And he goes, see, they're talking about this James guy. So I heard the whole conversation. Okay? So we got that. Just like Beverly. Got Beverly's name. Last time you did that to me. You think it's cute to torture a woman with a cold shower? Huh? Or too hot? You're a sick man. So we got 2 names out of that. Okay? First, you try to make it where I can't get a new apartment and a new car. What did we get, Mr. Perry? Muffin Man. And we got a lot of your code words. Some of them we already had. Some of them we got more. You tried to take my house. We get Bald Fat Calvin's name. You get me kicked out of my apartment, then my hotel, then take all my stuff. Then we get Sanjay's name. Then we get Geppetto's name. Then we get Lucius's name out of that. My guys start working very hard. The more cruel you get to me. David, you too. You're something. They said that Dave's always wanting to hire a hitman. Always. And then today, she can't go back to New Mexico. As much as we quote you, do you really think it's up to you? If I have that, do you really think it's up to you? What planet do you fucking live on, delusional? What fucking planet do you live on? Ask Bald Fat Calvin what planet y'all live on. Maybe he knows. Ask Lucius what planet you guys live on. If you're gonna pick a fight with somebody, see, I came here to not have a fight. I moved twice to get away from Mr. Perry and have nothing more to do with him. Nothing. I moved to Oklahoma to be with my family. My son and I can heal. My son and I can get better. Mr. Perry, do not contact me, you sick son of a bitch. Listen to me. I do not like it. We always get more when you contact me because I fucking told you to cut it out. Shut up and get away from me. Shut up and get away from me, you sick son of a bitch. So, I come here to get away from the fight, the drama, the problems, the loss Mr. Perry causes. See, people don't like loss, problems, drama, stress, anxiety, fear, or those who cause it. So we can get stuff like this and you can't. We have names, you don't. Right, Sanjay? Right, Sanjay? So I understand Mr. Sanjay really gets upset when I say his name. We got Sanjay's name also when you took my stuff and threw it in the dump and had me kicked out of my home. Right? Today it's James. So, he says, and Monique, who's Monique, Charles? Tell everybody who's Monique. Okay, so, what happens then is, what did I say? Oh, when you guys picked a fight with me, there's a bunch of you, men. If you want, most people don't pick a fight with anyone at all. Our guys don't pick a fight with anyone at all unless they do something like what you're doing. And then you're actually picking the fight. They're just catching you bothering me. You're bothering me, they're catching you. Right? I can't do this by myself. There's no way. I don't have that. I don't have any kind of capability to do that. No resources at all. Remember, you're trying to starve me until I lie. I can't even fucking eat half the time. So, all of you guys, you men, if you want to pick a fight with someone, most of you I've never met in my life that I know of. So, I'm not bothering you. I don't even know you. You have picked a fight with me and 40 police officers who can get stuff like this right here. This right here. No one gives a fuck about you. You don't matter. I matter. I have names you don't. Because I matter, you don't. Because people are worried about me and Mike, not you. Everybody fucking hates you. Seething hatred. That's how we get this information right here. You have built up a whole lot of animosity against you. People don't like suffering or those who cause it. They don't like stress. They don't like being traumatized, having to watch torture and torment and starvation of women and children. They don't like it. They don't like suffering that you're causing, your cruelty. Any more than they liked watching Derek Chauvin sit on George Floyd's neck until he died. Why people don't like crime? Why did you think they'd like yours? They're not okay with your crime, Charles. That's how we can get information and you can't. Why can't you get that? You just can't keep up with everybody else mental slow, can you? You're just very slow, very, can't understand what people say. Here's the thing. We don't care. We're sick of dealing with it. No one invited you to Oklahoma. Nobody invited you up here. I moved twice to get away from you and avoid a conflict and avoid drama and avoid a fight and not have to deal with you and you're crazy. And you're stupid. So why are you bothering me with it in Oklahoma? The rest of you, I don't know you. I don't pick a fight with you. Every time you cause me an injury, that's picking a fight with me and 40 cops helping me. We can get your names and you don't have one of theirs at all. None. Right? 7 years of that. 7 fucking years of that. We can get what you just said. I'm gonna starve her till she lies. I'm gonna starve her till she lies. We gotta get her to take the yellow brick road and be coaxed where we can kill her, rape her, sex traffic her, right? Against her will. And we're like, maybe we quoted you again today. Maybe you don't understand us. We don't speak hillbilly. Is that why you can't understand a word we say? Country bumpkins? I'm out of patience with it. I'm out of patience with it. When I'm quoting this person here, point out for me the marks on Mike Neely that look like he was in a fight. Point them out. Here's his picture. Point him out. Here's the arrest report. Point out the injuries. Where are they? Where are they listed? People are worried about me and Mike, and they don't give two fucks about you. You're a monster. You're cruel. You're awful. You disturb people. You make everybody uncomfortable. So we can get information and names, and you can't get shit. If you knew how much people hated you and who all hated you, you would never bother me again. You'd make sure I was fine. You sack of shit. So when you guys, all you men, come pick a fight with one woman, you think that makes you tough guy. We're all laughing at you. You gotta be kidding me. We think you guys all wear matching dresses. Bunch of queenies. That doesn't make you tough, it makes you pathetic. You want to act tough, go to a biker bar and pick a fight with a dude. Alright? Because you're not tough, you're just pathetic. Just absolutely pathetic. So we can get information and you can't. Everybody's very, 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 very worried about me and Mike and our well-being and our safety. And they fucking hate you bitches. All of you. Hate you. Seething hatred. Lots of animosity, lots of hatred, and if you knew who all that was, you would shit yourselves and never bother me again. But we quote you every fucking day. Let's review, stupid bitches. I don't even... Gene Mitchell, how did she know my legal argument before I made it? I texted him and I went, don't fucking do that. Don't do it. What you're about to say isn't plausible, and how did I know that? He hadn't made his legal argument yet. Yeah, see, because I have help. People with a whole lot of power, you piss off every night I'm in my car. Every day I'm broke. Every day Mike's in jail. Every day you invade my privacy. Every time you contact me. Every problem you cause. Every fucking cold shower. Everything you do to cause me a problem. Every little thing. I lose one eyelash. They get very pissed off. And they have the power to get that. And the Fabian puzzle in jail. It wasn't up to you. So imagine how hard they laugh when y'all sit around and go, she can't go back to New Mexico, like you think it's up to you. Was it up to you when I found out what his argument was going to be before he made it? Jesus, what planet are you on? Was it up to you when I got that? No, it wasn't. Was it up to you when I got that? No, it wasn't. Was it up to you when I got that? No, it wasn't. Was it up to you when I got that? No, it wasn't. No one gives two fucks what you bitches, you pathetics think. Everybody fucking hates you because you're mean, you're cruel, you're weirdo, and you're causing a lot of problems. What about that? We've got one in Tulsa. We need to get her back to Texas so we can do more harm to her. This pissed people off, and it pissed them off a lot, Calvin, Lucius, Perry, David. This pissed people off a whole lot. Cause them to hate you. Right? About that, Calvin? Sanjay? So, this one too, I'm going to take her car away from her. 2019, he's had my car wrecked 5 times in 3 years. Oil drained out. Headlights and taillights taken out. Try to get me pulled over. How many pullovers have you called in this week? Yeah, I want a list. That's illegal. in the McNamara email of 2015. We've quoted you every day since this. We've got names. You have no names. You don't know one thing my guys have said in our meetings. Not one. 7 years of that. No one cares about you. They care about me and Mike. They don't give two fucks about you. People don't like problems. They don't like drama. They don't like stress. They don't like anxiety. They don't like fear. They don't like sadness. They don't like being psychologically tortured or abused, having to watch one person make another suffer. You're hated men. All of you are very hated. And if you knew who all hated you and how much they hate you, you would shit yourselves and never bother me ever again. What are we going to do with this? You don't know. We have a plan. What have we already done with it? You don't know. It's a need to know. You're the offender. You don't get to know. Nobody wants to help you. Everybody wants you fuckers gone. Just fucking gone. Now, I've said that over and over and over and over for years. I don't know what kind of mental slows you must be, that you get up and do the same thing every day that gets you the same results. It's so easy, it is not even fair. We don't have words for it. We don't have any words for it. It's like these guys are. We don't even know what to say. What day will they arrest you, Charles? What day will they be done with their investigation and arrest you? David, Charles, Calvin, Lucius. Yeah, when you know that, then you can sit down and decide where I'm going to live. I mean, it wasn't up to you when we got all that, and that's not the half of it. There is so much more, so fucking much more. I mean, not the half of it, right? Where's the rest of it? That other one. Here's some more. Those are subject lines of emails I typed up that were about your recordings, your meeting, your little meeting where you planned another harm against me. This is not the half of it, Mr. Perry. So our shrink says he's not trying to prove me wrong, and I thought he would. You know what that means? He can't. He cannot. He's that bad. He's in that bad a shape. He can't prove me wrong. He can't even try. He's not even trying because he can't. And the witness statement. Yeah, okay, so when we get this stuff, and then what you guys said today, can't let her go back to New Mexico. And then your conversation about James. The guy said, Mr. Perry, the hardest thing for me to watch about this is that the hobbit over here crawls out of his nice warm bed and waddles to the bathroom to pee. And then waddles back into his nice warm bed. She has to drive to a gas station where I come from. A gentleman gives up his chair for a lady. He's sleeping in a nice warm bed while she has to sleep in her car. And he's trying to take that away too. And she has to drive to a gas station to pee. What kind of fucking asshole does that? That's why everybody hates him right there. That's why. He does shit like that. And what we hear the most of is, why the hell is he doing that to her? Why the fuck is he doing that to her? That is a very cruel thing to do. Your cruelty will be your downfall. A man's kindness brings blessings. We can get information. We have your names. I have names of people I've never met that I know of. People that work for you, Charles. You're you bitches. They kiss your ass, right? They're your bitches. Can't do any better than be the bitch of a sex weirdo. It's pretty fucking pathetic. And I've battled bronchitis too, having to sleep in my car. And Charles like, why doesn't she like me? Why won't she do what I want? Oh my God, wow. Prince Charming, you are not. You're not even close. You're the polar opposite of what women look for in men. Polar opposite of it. Polar opposite of everything I find attractive. Stalking is a felony. Voyeurism is a felony. Hacking is a felony. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Interference with contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. Witness tampering. Destruction of evidence. Victim tampering. I have a right to victims' rights bill in Oklahoma. Right, Mr. Kunzweiler? I have the right to equal protection. You heard of the Me Too movement? I have the right to not be stalked, not be harassed, not be bothered, not be targeted, not be, selective prosecution every time you want to do your second false arrest. I have the right to be left the fuck alone. I have the right to be left the fuck alone. You don't have the right to a lie. You don't have the right to first-degree murder of a cop and perjury and RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation after RICO Act violation, Mr. Perry. You don't have those rights. And everybody's fucking sick of you. Everybody's sick and tired of y'all putting me through this day after day. So we get more. Every day we get more. What day will they have enough? My guy's like, listen, I know this sucks for you right now, but you gotta remember, you get the more he does, the more we can get in restitution for you, don't you think? That's more money. Go cha-ching. If he wants to do it, if he wants to be a little bitch and keep going at you, that we're certainly willing to seek restitution on every little thing he's done. Everything that we can find. You and Mike. It's easier to get a conviction the more we have, and it'll be just more money in restitution. If he wants to be that stupid, let him be that stupid. So, I mean, it doesn't even benefit you to do what you're doing. It doesn't benefit you at all. You've never gotten a date ever with me. You're not going to. I don't go out with little bitches like you, pathetics. I don't, mental slow, not my thing. If somebody's mentally retarded, I had patients that were Down syndrome. They were all kind. They could think circles around you in their sleep. All of them could. They were productive, successful members of society despite having been born with Down syndrome. You're not that. You are something else completely. You're just fucking monster. Just fucking stupid monster. I don't even have words. We don't even know what to say. We don't even fucking know what to say. But nobody gets caught every day for 7 years and keeps going at it unless they just want to be caught. Because you don't get a date. You don't have a cover-up. $25 million you paid out for a cover-up you never got. Plus however much it's been since then. How much money have you paid out for a cover-up you didn't get? You got the most uncovered up your crime's ever been. When you do it to me. It's the same every time you do it. But it's different than when you're other victims. The cause is, when you fuck with me, the effect is you get caught. Right? You touch a hot stove, you're gonna get burned. Dumbass. You're fucking stupid. It's so easy, it's not even fair. And, we quote you guys every day. We've got your names. You have not one name and not one meeting. Not one meeting our guys have had. What are they gonna do with all this, and when are they gonna do it? How bad is it gonna be for you? I don't know. You got a lot of nerve asking me for help. You got a lot of nerve asking me for help. Who do you think you are? No one cares what you think. Everybody's sick of you. We can get information and you can't. Because you're a monster and you're cruel and you're creepy. And we're all tired of dealing with that. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma. I came here to get away from you. People don't like drama. They don't like problems. They don't like stress and anxiety. They don't like being traumatized. Watching one person make another suffer. They don't like watching what you're doing to me and Mike. They don't like it. No one does. It's disturbing. You ought to know that at your age. You ought to know that. Because of that, all of that is why we can get information and you can't get shit. Nobody will tell you a thing. Okay? Fuck off. I don't want to hear from you. I don't like you. No one does. We can get information and you can't. Everybody just wants you to fucking go away. Do you understand? I've said that over and over and over and over. The more you bother me, the more we get. The more we get, the easier it will be to get a conviction, and the more we get in restitution for me and Mike and the other victims. Period. That's it. Period. You don't have one name. I rattled off about 10. Right, Sanjay? All right. Leave everybody alone, Charles. Stop being a bother. Stop messing with everything. Go be with your wife and your kids. And leave everybody in Oklahoma the fuck alone. I didn't pick a fight with you bitches. Every time you cause me an injury, you're picking one with me. We always get this stuff beforehand, not after. Right? You're pissing everybody off. Everybody fucking hates you. And if you knew how much they hated you, and how many people, who all it is, you would never bother me again. And you'd make sure I wasn't spending the night in my car. Alright? Period. That's the way it is. Like it or not, that's how that is. Leave everybody the fuck alone.
Leave me alone. All you want. I don't want for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care. Leave me alone. All you want. I don't want for.
Alright, so I'm going to list the names again one more time. There's Lucius. There's Geppetto the Witch. There's Bald Fat Calvin. He's very cruel. Everybody really hates you, Calvin. There is Sonjay. There's Blankenship, Desiree, Beverly, James, Reuben. That's another one. Dickie, and Richard. Right? Those are a bunch of names of your people. Oh, and the Muffin Man. So, Monique. Who's Monique? Alright, so you have not one name of our guys. In 7 years, not one. We've quoted you guys talking about, we got to get her on the yellow brick road. Right? Right? Isn't that what you said? That's your bait for you to traffic me? We got to use the carrot and the stick approach on her. I'm a grown woman. Get the fuck off me, rapist. Get the fuck off me. You don't have my consent to hack, peep, contact me at all. None. Or anybody I know. I'm not going to be trafficked. We found out instead before. Any other victim find out beforehand? I did. I have help. I have help that gave me your names. And your little code words. Right? Huh? Alright, your little code words of Weeble Wobbles and Papa John's. It doesn't mean what people think of it. Those are code words for you. It's different than what everybody else knows that to be. You're actually the Jenga game, not the Weeble Wobble. And I'm the Jenga piece. And every time you piss me off, because you push and pull and cause some sort of catastrophic loss for me, I'm not bothering you, you're bothering me. You're getting caught bothering me. You have every day for years. McNamara was the first of it. That you know of. I'm sorry. My guys are always correcting me. It's not the first one. It's the first one you know of. Who did you disturb so badly at what you were telling them you were about to do to me that they told on you? Lots of people do. Everybody hates you. Everybody fucking hates you. But for the guys on your payroll that kiss your ass. It's the best they'll ever be. Sorry to hear that. That's their choice. Everybody has choices. They're grown-ass men. So, if you want to be a man, go pick a fight with a man in a biker bar. Okay? You picking on a bunch of you, sit down and have a little meeting and try to figure out how to make me fail and pick on, beat her down to nothing so she'll finally subjugate. Yeah, that's girl. You are girled up as they get. That's why we think you guys all wear matching skirts. Leave press-on fingernails. Is that what you do? Because it isn't manly to want to pick on and beat down women. It is not. 40 men are helping me now. They're very chivalrous. They've done a great job keeping me safe. But yeah, there's that question all the time. How does she put one foot in front of the other? I don't know how she does it. It is traumatizing to lose your home. It is traumatizing when someone's trying to traffic you and make you starve into a lie or starve into, we just needed to apologize. You know how many times we've heard y'all say that? Ugh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Get the hay out your mouth. Talk right, please. Talk right, hillbilly. You guys are something. You guys are something. It's military ecumenicals must be God and country. They're the only ones that don't take money to be corrupt. Right? Is that what you think? Is that really what you think? If you knew who all hated you for what you're putting me through and how badly they hate you, you would never bother me again. You'd shit yourself. Absolutely shit yourself. And never bother me again. You can, take my word for it or not. I mean, I keep naming people. Quoting you guys. Get her back on that pole and on a schedule. starve me until my skin's hanging off me. That's not sexy. I look like a fucking concentration camp victim. It is like living with one. I mean, you got somebody shooting at you every day. You don't know what they're going to hit. What am I going to lose tomorrow? What are they going to take away from me tomorrow that I care about? It is traumatizing to be homeless. Somebody else said it. I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. People are sick and tired of that, Charles. Very, very tired of it. Very, very sick and tired of you. You guys are very hated bitches. Very hated bitches. But you do what you do. Like this guy says, normal people don't like it. They don't understand. We don't even understand it. We don't even understand why in the hell you would act like that. What kind of psychotics sit around all day trying to figure out how to ruin somebody's life? What kind of psychotics sit around on their fat, lazy, perverted asses trying to figure out how to ruin somebody's life, even though they're getting caught every day? It's so easy, it's not fair. I don't know.
Please leave me alone.
Amen. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.